See, he wants me to do a song. I don't have a song ready. How's the song go? Do do do, Will Schick. Time to join Will Schick into painting. And up there's my face. That wasn't a very good song. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, wherever you're at. Welcome to Time and Mass Transmissions Live. This is session 2 of the 10 character roster challenge that Schick and I are undertaking. And we're just gonna paint. So I got Mr. Will Schick here, and I'm not sure who you're painting. I got Captain Marvel on my table, unless somebody votes her off. Is this like an island? Do we vote them off? I don't remember.
I don't think this is the voting off kind of island. How you doing there, Dallas?
I'm doing great. How you doing, sir?
I'm ready to paint this Gamora. So, number 2. I actually finished Taskmaster from yesterday, so if folks didn't join us or missed it out, here's the finished Taskmaster. I gave him a red laser sword because they're in space. They're all supposed to be new Guardians of the Galaxy / Avengers of the Galaxy, so I thought, give them some sci-fi weaponry, amp up that sword, make it cool. But today, we have Gamora.
And I went ahead and finished up Ghost Spider, which I can't remember what we called them, the Cosmic Destructors, because I'm the bad guy.
That's what you claim. That's what you claim. I am the morally gray person at this point. The morally gray team. We're not necessarily good. We're not necessarily bad. We probably do things for the betterment of most people, though.
I mean, especially whenever I come in and I'm trying to blow up a planet.
Depending on the planet, we might be okay with it.
Oh, rude.
Yeah, well,
those people had lives.
That's true, but so did all of our friends and loved ones on Earth that is now destroyed, per my team's backstory here. So if you're taking out say a Spartax world or something, we might be okay with it. It's just vengeance here. I mean, I've got Frank Castle on my team who stole all of Star-Lord's clothes following the cataclysmic events that saw the downfall of Earth.
That's my favorite one of your miniatures is the currently is the Frank Castle as Star-Lord. It's just a great little story in my head.
Yeah, he just, Star-Lord unfortunately didn't make it, and Rocket and Gamora grabbed the last of the heroes and off-time villains that were left, and Frank Castle's looks like we're the same size. I need a trench coat. I'm taking this one. And they were cool with it.
It was okay.
Oh, Gamora, she wasn't, there was no hesitation. She's just whatever. Take the old meat sack's clothes. It matters not. But yeah, I'm just continuing on with my classic Guardians color scheme on Gamora. She's going to be a little different, though. She's got this super sick space armor. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of colored blue, space metallic.
Yeah, so we were talking about that just before stream. And then you're going to have some red accents as well, correct?
Yep. We got to get that crimson in there to make sure that everything lines up, right? So we'll do the blue undersuit. So the navy blue will go on the undersuit, which will tie her with all of the other characters, and then we'll do some red sanguine accents, like we did on Taskmaster for his boots and his gloves and his cape. And then I think for the armor plating, for the most part, we'll just do some cool blue space metal, utilizing the scale color alchemy stuff that I really like.
I'm just trying to darken up the blue of this cloth to make my black. I didn't really have a plan, a fully thought out plan going into this, which is fine. That's the way I think sometimes.
You're just you're just jazzer painting, as I call it. You're just figuring it out as you go. Do that all the time.
Painting with jazz. But I definitely had that, it's we'll do Zenith, we'll have some magenta glow. And then last night I was finishing up that Ghost Riders is like, black, white, I'm the bad guy. So we're going to go black and white, hints of red, magenta glow, cosmic destructors. That's my
your thing.
story.
That's your story, and you're sticking to it. Now, were these folks like? Were they mind controlled? Who funds these people? That's what I want to know. My group is just there. They're out for, avengement.
Look, I'm not saying that I'm the reason that your universe blew up. But maybe.
But you might have been. You might have had something to do with it, is what I'm hearing here. But who's the greater mastermind at play? That's I feel like what we need to establish. Or is that part of the secret reveal for your last character? Because we don't have all of our characters yet.
Maybe that's the secret reveal.
Ooh, I like it. We all know it's going to be Thanos.
Who is the mastermind?
It's always Thanos. It's always Thanos.
Doesn't gotta be.
It doesn't gotta be, but it will be. There's no shame in that. There's no shame in it being Thanos. We understand your loyalties, Dallas Kemp. You already talked about it. How much you love playing all the big characters.
I love big pricey characters.
Then your team can be She-Hulk, Thanos, Doctor Strange, and Ghost Rider? That doesn't even work. That's like more points than you can possibly play. It's more a threat than can be managed in this game.
I don't play by the rules, Schick.
It's true. You're not a rules follower. Not a rules follower.
Alright, let's go gray. I feel like this bit should be white.
Good morning from New Zealand. Ah, I love it. It's like tomorrow for New Zealand, isn't it? Aren't we living in the past? Can our New Zealand friends and viewers give us the lottery numbers for today? Would be much appreciated.
Or some horse race winnings.
Horse race winnings?
We've seen the movie.
Are you talking about the one with Spider-Man?
No. There's another IP.
It's another IP. Alright. I think we're pretty good on the blue here. So, just kind of doing a quick watered down wash to get this stuff going on.
Your night has says Friday morning, which I'm jealous. I'm ready for
Yeah,
Friday.
see? Well, but if it was Friday, you wouldn't be here painting right now, so
Fair play.
it's a fair trade, I think. All right. Got blue going on. Feeling good. Dallas is about done with his Captain Marvel already. Just
Almost done.
completely
Exactly.
outpacing me here. I don't stand a chance.
Look, we got 10 characters to paint in 1 month.
You keep saying that, and then I keep going, yeah, but I've painted one. There's a lot of month left though.
There's a lot of months left.
I'm not worried. It's gonna happen. And then we'll get to the table. We'll play some games in June. It'll be good. This here. there.
Nope, 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 nope. I don't like
Nope. Nope.
that. I put the color in the wrong spot. Did not like.
That's alright. You can erase it. You can fix.
What it's all about.
So what is the overall process for this new style of black that you're doing here?
So I'm doing the hold your blue glaze, and then I'm shading with black, and then just highlighting it, and I'm calling it done. So it's very quick. You get pretty good results in a very short time.
Mm-hmm.
And for this kind of project, I really want to focus on that kind of speed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just all about maximizing how quick I'm getting through areas. So I thought that would be the best way to go about it. So far, it's working out.
And then you've got that magenta glow from the initial airbrushing. How are you integrating that into your black?
So the trick is you want to pull that little bit of black line between the magenta and the highlight side. So it should be a dark area. So you see it goes from blue to black to magenta. And then I'm using a little bit of purple to shade the magenta side. So like, the shadows in the, like, even though it's heavily lit, there's still going to be cast shadows. And then just throwing a real quick highlight on some areas to give it some pop and zing life. So it won't just be pure airbrush.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you still have to show value inside a lit area. Some areas are going to just be darker because the light is going to, or the color underneath is going to absorb it. Does that make sense? That makes sense.
You said it made sense, so I believe you. We also have a Josh hanging out in the comment section right now. It's like a blast from the past. We're painting together. We're back to sometimes playing games in the studio, and now Josh is back behind the board. Controlling everything, Josh.
I spoke to Josh right before stream, and he was very excited to be back on talking.
Well, he's doing a terrible job at talking because he hasn't said anything except hello to the stream.
Josh, it's your one day. Drop all the spoilers, right?
Oh, he doesn't have any spoilers anymore.
He doesn't.
He's not part of that life unless it's art spoilers. You have returned, Josh. Boy, how it's been just so quiet without you. So quiet. There's been no one to verbally abuse us anymore. My spoiler days are over.
It's true. Spoiler days are over.
Used to be the person with their hand on the button. You could do it all. Reveal all. Not anymore. Ooh. Go back to that navy blue. I missed a spot. Alright. Dude, one chat. I prefer that nobody verbally abuses me, honestly. But, it's your time. It's your dime, chat. You feel free to do whatever you need to do. Just be aware you've got the moderation hammer of Josh going on there. He's a harsh but fair overlord.
Because I could finish up her face.
Oh, we're getting the classic. What brush are we using, Dallas? Chat needs to know.
I'm using 2 size 2s. Watercolor brushes.
Yeah, we talk. I mean, you could give them the whole lowdown on what you need from a brush. We talk about it a lot. But it's solid information. Anything to slow you down at this point.
Boo! What slowed me down is I lost my green.
You lost your green?
Where'd my green go? I'm just going to mix one up. I'm going to freak it. Let's mix up. So, what you want in a brush is what I like. What I like is I like a fat belly and a thin, tight point. Right? That's a good watercolor brush will give that to you. You want something with good spring. This one's pretty beat up. You can see the ferrule's actually bent. Look at that. You see that bend?
You and your old and busted brushes, Dallas.
Yeah. Like the brand isn't even on it anymore because it's just worn off. This is beat up. But like I like a fat belly because that lets the paint set in there and be usable for a long time. But you want the tiny point for control. That's what I like. But you don't really want like a little tiny brush because your paint won't stay wet and loose, and that gives you less work, right? So I don't like when I get a brush up to the miniature and the paint's already dry. It's like, oh, it's got a little tiny eye, so I'm gonna paint with the smallest brush in the world. And then you get up to the paint up there and it's just dried out. You want the opposite of that. You want like a nice big belly to hold that moisture in there. And watercolor brushes are really good. That's what I like.
Natural hair versus synthetic? That's always a good question.
They got their uses, both of them do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like, there's some amazing painters out there that do everything with just synthetic cheap brushes, or some that like live and die by the most expensive brushes. I think it's all about finding what works for you and just adapting to it.
Yeah, like anything, a lot of it's just the tool that you use over and over for practice.
Yeah.
If you get really good at, utilizing synthetics and the way they work, then they're going to be your go-to.
I can name painters that uses just the worst brushes in the world. You would never know it because it's just what they use.
Mm-hmm.
And then I buy the worst brush in the world and I can't get to do anything.
You haven't dedicated enough of your time to learning how to use the worst brush in the world.
Yeah. It all depends on what you're trying to paint and what your paint style is and all that stuff. Try them out. Try brushes out. You never know what you'll discover.
It's true. There's also so many brushes out there that trying to say this is the best one for every application or person is ridiculous. Everything's got its pros and cons, just like paints.
Contrary to popular belief, there's no best of anything, I'll say it.
I'm pretty
say.
sure the music industry disagrees with you, since I can count a whole load of best of albums.
I have bought some best of albums, and they missed some of my favorite songs on them.
You just don't like the best of things, then, is what it sounds like. Maybe it'll be on the best of volume 2, which honestly doesn't work. You can't have a best of album and then have multiples of the best of.
I think
That's
it
just
depends on how.
cheating.
I mean, it depends on how long your career is, right?
I mean, maybe if the second best of has nothing from the catalog previous to the first best of, I might be with you on that.
I think you gotta do the like best of 1972 to 1989, and then the best of 1991 to 1998. Like you should really categorize it.
I would allow that. I would allow that as long as the era, as long as the timeline is different. But you can't give me a best of volume 1 and then suddenly go back to that same era and be like best of volume 2 and be like, no, it's not the best of anymore. You've already established that list. You can't change your mind. There's no going back.
Agreed.
Unlike in games of Crisis Protocol that I play, there are no backsies when it comes to best of compilations.
Well, are you making fun of my use of backsies?
No, I use backsies all the time. I let everyone have backsies. I don't care.
Sure, I'm all about it.
I mean, there's kind of like a time rule. You can't backsies, whatever happened 15 minutes ago. That's just ridiculous.
You're not gonna let me backsies my deployment on turn
No,
3?
no. Not unless it's playtest, sir. You can backsee anything you want on playtest.
That's true. Can we reset this? I didn't understand.
I've picked up miniatures from one side of the table and literally moved them to the entire other side of the table through a backseat for playtest. Just been like, you forgot about this rule? Well, let's just say you didn't, and now they'd be here. Because that's the only way you're going to get good playtest feedback.
That's like such an that's such an interesting part of playtesting. Like starting in this industry and like learning what a playtest means. It's like, oh, this is not what I thought it was at all.
It's true. You get in and you're like, well, yeah, you just play the game. And you're like, yeah, sort of. The game grounds everything that happens, but you're not really playing the game. You're testing. It's very different.
Yeah, you're not playing the game.
The second you become concerned with how do you win at a playtest game, you've missed the point of playtesting. And I will say it definitely doesn't help the actual game skills.
No.
It's
As I have demonstrated many times.
very different mentality, very different thought process. Does the game play you? Only in Russia.
I mean, I got bad news for everybody. You all just lost the game. And if you know what I'm talking about, you're screaming at your screen.
Pretty sure if they know what you're talking about, they lost a long time ago. Nobody's still playing.
That's the rule of the game. Everybody's always playing.
Except that you lose. So if you've already lost, you can't really play the game. Unless the round resets. If the game resets, I suppose, But who manages that? Is it like tennis? Are we all at 5-love?
There's very specific things I think of in my head when I hear the words "the game," and one of them's a person.
Oh. Well then.
You know what I'm talking about.
Do I?
Yeah.
Mm, mm.
You do.
I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it.
Okay, so are we doing this like shock of white in her hair? Do you think that you like that?
I totally wanted to have the shock of white mixed with the super black hair. You might not have intended it, but that's what I saw when we were setting up the camera.
Yeah, it wasn't intended.
I want it to look like she's going after a dog fur coat, okay? That's what I want in my life. Okay, let's grab some Violet Inktense. Makes
Violent
spice metal.
Inktense.
Violet Inktense. Violent Inktense. It should be called Violent Inktense. Would be better. Yeah, I found that if you take the whatever metal colors is Cobalt Alchemy from Scale, and then you wash it with a nice like purple ink wash, creates this really fabulous cosmic blue purple weird color. I used it on my Star-Lord that I painted on stream way back in the day when we used to do this in the studio. You get this nice like two-tone kind of color shifting almost effect on it. It's pretty neat. Of course, how much of the wash you place on each of the panels and stuff will definitely change the overall tone, but I did it on the kind of see how it worked out on Taskmaster's shield here, which is done with the same process. It looks pretty spacey. I like it. Oh, I get you, Mr. Gavenport. I get you. $100. Then after it dries, you can go back in and you can just like retone it back into the blue area. You can add like spot highlights and get that two-toning going on like a lot. It's pretty neat. I really enjoy playing with the Scale Alchemy colors, especially the weirder ones like the pink one and the red one, and they have a green one which I haven't used a lot, but someday will.
The weirder the better in my eyes.
It's true, especially when you're doing things from space.
Ubiquitous 42. Daz, I want to thank you again for encouraging me to get into painting while I was playing a game at one of your local stores. I now have 2 full rosters of my favorite characters painted, having never painted minis before. That's my favorite story. You never painted before? It doesn't matter. Get in there and have fun.
That's right. Just put them colors on those miniatures. You can't get better at something unless you start doing it.
Wise man once said, sucking at something is the first step of being somewhat good at it.
Oh.
That's a paraphrase, but it's pretty close.
Sometimes you gotta...
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say sometimes you gotta fly before you can walk.
Yeah.
I don't think that applies in any way, shape, or form. But it's a very Tony Stark quote.
We got several people on the AMG team who just painted their first miniature as a Marvel vs. Protocol or Legion, and they never look back. Like it's just, you just get in there, you try out. Simone is one. Simone just started painting miniatures just within the past year and a half, 2 years. Paints
I was
every
gonna say,
week.
Simone originally told me that she would never paint a miniature, and now she does it every week. Sometimes you just gotta try it to get hooked. Alright. Just let this purple dry, and then we'll go back in and start mucking with the. Reclaiming some of that blue back to the armor. And look where painting got you. Yeah, it got you as the boss. It was an important part of, taking this next step. As the head honcho of Atomic Mass Games. That was part of the application process. You had to paint that pink ebony maw.
There's no mistakes, Ubiquitous. You're not ruining anything or messing them up. You're just painting and learning.
It's true. You're just making them uniquely your own and learning as you go along.
I definitely have a collection of quote learning experiences in a game bag.
I mean, I think we all do.
Yeah.
That's just part of the journey. You have stages along the way. You have artistic periods. Let's call them that. That sounds really fancy. Josh knows all about artistic periods. This was I refused to do anything but base coat period. And this is I don't understand why anyone would use a wash of metallics period. Oh, I need a green.
Some of my first miniatures, they were just one color, and like the shadow. I'm using air quotes. You can't see because we're on Bandcamp. The shadow. I just left the black primer showing.
Yeah. I mean, at least you had shadows. My first minis were heavily blasted with a rattle can and then like some crudely added details / gunked on colors for whatever thing wasn't supposed to be the color of the rattle can. Just scrawly lines and goopy paint. I don't think you could see any of the poor detail in those things. It was awful. But, I had to start somewhere. It got paint on the minis and made me go, I could keep doing this, I guess.
My first miniature I ever painted, the first 5 or so. Nobody told me about primer. So it's just paint straight on a miniature, which spoiler has no tube, so the paint doesn't want to grab it. So it's just a mess. It makes zero sense, and the paint doesn't want to grab, and it's kind of chaotic. I don't have those anymore, but they definitely existed. No one told me.
Yeah, I mean, learning used to just come from a couple of pictures with some text, like, base coat this thing. Like, what does that even mean? I don't know. It's an amazing age we live in where I can hop on YouTube and find brilliant advice and new ideas to try from all of these folks around the world anytime I want. It's just helped expand my painting game so much with different ways, or
You've
and it
been
sends.
really, you've been really exploratory lately too.
I have been. It's because I've been watching too many YouTube videos. And then I go out to the art store and I buy like a whole ton of artist oils and start messing with that. I need to work more with those. I haven't had a lot of time to really play outside of like oil washes, but I do really want to try painting a miniature completely in oils and all kinds of stuff because I think that'd be really fun. Working on the airbrush, just messing around, and just part of the thing I love about MCP and stuff is that the single kind of character standpoint of each character allows you to just really explore and not be worried about, oh, now I have to do this over a whole army. Except now we're doing the special May challenge, and I'm like, everything I do, I have to do over a whole army. But that's part of the fun. Now we go back through and
Yeah, these are
reclaim.
fun because I mean, yeah, I kind of got like a million things I want to say now. Like it's really fun when somebody goes and explores a new paint style. So like I get excited when you send me a message. You're like, "Have you seen this?" I'm like, "Look how this guy painted this." I'm like, "Yeah, that's awesome." And you like go down the rabbit hole. And you're like, "I'm going to try this." I'm like, "This is awesome. I love this."
True. I did have a long conversation with you over a night where I was like, "What do you know about painting with like cell shading painting?"
Yeah,
Because I saw a bunch of stuff and I was just so inspired, and I do want to try it at some point, even though I know I'm going to be really bad at it to start.
that's all right.
But it's just
Being
amazing.
bad,
It's like sometimes you don't even know like how to begin though. Like you look at that stuff and it's just like I don't even understand what they're doing, but it looks amazing.
yeah, there's some like the there's some hobby groups out there that use cell shading to an amazing standard that is like just mind blowing what they're doing. Um, I thought about doing it, but and I started on one project with it and like never fully
Never
finished
fully
it.
went all in.
Yeah, but there's a part of me kind of wants to.
I think it's definitely something that I think would be really cool just to know. And then once you learn the technique, you can apply it even if it's not wholesale to whatever you're working on. Like knowing how to do some more artistic, cartoony, cell shade like highlighting you can put into your normal painting. And that's when you start really making unique art. And you start
Yeah,
just messing with your own style and you know.
I'm definitely a big believer, as are you. Like, do not discount any sort of technique. Learn every technique you possibly can, even if you never use it. Like, there's techniques I never use or rarely use, but I still want to know how because it's just another tool in the tool belt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that those are very important things to have. So yeah, doing like it might be fun to do like a cell shade challenge on something and try it out and see what you can come up with. Just to have that tool in the tool.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to like one, it would improve your dark lining skills for sure because it's a big part of it. And then just thinking abstractly about
Mm.
form and shape and highlights and doing things that are not natural but still look right. Like to me, that's really exciting because one of the big things I've been trying to work on over the last year is getting out of the well, how would light naturally fall on this, or what would a real photo of this look like, and instead going, well, it's a piece of art, so it doesn't have to make sense. And when I watch you and you're like, I'm gonna put some purple on this section here for no reason other than it's gonna look cool, and then you look at it, you're like, you're right, that does look really cool. But I would have never put purple there because purple doesn't belong there.
Yeah, that's been one of my favorite things over the past couple of years. Is just being like, I'm painting this face. I'm gonna put candy apple green in the shadow under the cheek. Why? I don't know, but it looks right. It looks cool.
It looks arty. Yeah, it's just wild. It's like wild how art and your eye and just some of the things that happen, like, they don't naturally make sense. And I don't really think that, unfortunately, in a lot of miniatures painting, it's really talked about, right? It's how do you paint blue? Okay, well, take your blue and paint your base coat, do your wash, put your layer on it, do a couple highlights like this, and now you have blue. And we don't ever really get in too much in a lot of places unless you start going to the really high up fancy competition painters about like, use these weird colors in this spot because of this. And sometimes you just need to be like, just experiment. Throw this color here, throw that color there. See what works. Learn from looking at, two-dimensional art pieces and paintings and all this stuff, and you're going to wind up with some really cool looking end results.
It's like we like to say on the stream, right? We want the idea of our series is not to teach you how to paint or what to paint, but how to paint. Like, if we taught you what to paint, we'd be like, take blue number 37, apply it to this area, shade with blue number 19, highlight with red 1209. That's very boring. Like, that's not very boring. It's a way. Our philosophy is more like, yo, try something, get in there, play with it, put some little paints around. It's fun.
Yeah, understanding the technique will let you apply it in different ways, whereas, just knowing. It's funny, I think about kind of my painting journey and stuff, and a lot of the times with the more tutorial style stuff, it'd be like, this is how you paint this miniature in this color. And then I'd be like, great, that was really helpful. But I'd get to the next miniature and I'd be like, I don't know what to do, even though I should use the same technique. Because I didn't understand the technique, I only understood like where to put the paint, how, and how. Yep. Like, I couldn't apply it somewhere else.
Yep.
And so it's been so helpful now, like thinking of it in terms of, well, this is how you accomplish a wash. This is how you accomplish a dry brush. This is how you do these things. Because then instead of being stuck to like that same miniature or that exact same paint, I can just go, okay, well, I have these things. I understand how the technique works. This is how I'm going to approach it.
Yep. Let's get in there and let's have fun painting. Let's mess them up.
I'm pretty happy with the level of blue versus purple versus what's going on here. So I've learned that now I should stop before I muck it up. Yeah, look at that space armor. Ooh.
Hey, that looks... Yeah, I like that silver purple you got going on there.
It looks spacey, I think.
It's spacey.
And that's all that matters.
Painted for the table.
A little bit on fleshing out that red. Get that highlighted up. Maybe I want to add a little bit more red somewhere, but we'll mess with that when we get there. Space American Gladiator. Oh gosh.
Oh,
The things that I would do to be able to watch American Gladiators again. I love that show. Live from Los Angeles, California. That show is great. I spent so many of my summer mornings watching reruns of that.
I'm afraid to even ask who's your favorite gladiator, but
Gemini.
there you go.
What's this? There you go. Of course, Gemini. Gemini was the best. Just a monster of a man. But he was always very respectful of his competitors. He never trash talked after he beat the tar out of them. Before, maybe. But some poor fool would be like face down on the mat, and they'd be like, "What'd you think, Gemini?" I'd be like, "I'm just really impressed. These competitors come out, they work so hard. You know, we do this all the time." He'd just be like, "You're so wholesome, even though you just murdered that man." And that show was awesome.
Josh is in there talking about Turbo.
Of course Josh would like Turbo. Of course Josh would like Turbo. This is a family show, but Josh and I will have words later, and we're going to talk about why I knew Josh would like Turbo. My favorite, like, did anyone not like the Joust? I mean, Joust or Assault, those were the two. Those were the two best events. Joust because who doesn't want to hit somebody with a pugil stick and knock them off a platform? That's amazing. And like 8-year-old me totally knew that he could do it. I was like, I could do this. And then Assault, again, you're just shooting like high-powered Nerf balls at people. And that's the one you're always like, I can't believe they missed that shot. Come on. I'm excited now. This is the painting conversation that helps you zen in.
I mean, this is the conversations that just happen when we're at the office.
It's true. It'd be Josh yelling about some obscure Marvel character and why they are clearly better than any other Marvel character.
Clearly,
before immediately changing the subject to someone else who is clearly the best Marvel character, also highly obscure.
You know how many greatest like combat masters in the Marvel universe are, according to Josh?
It's true. I mean, that's just a PR thing, though. It's hard to like get people hype about a character when you're like, the third greatest martial artist in the world. Like, nobody's gonna hype themselves realistically. It's not a humble hype. That's not what people do. You can't function that way. The humble hype doesn't work. Oh, chat's getting into this now too. There's some spicy opinions going on here. Giant Nerf cannons were amazing. I just liked how the gladiators got to shoot high-powered tennis balls at people. You knew who the show valued the most. It wasn't the contestants' lives. Which any show called American Gladiators should be that way. How's it going over there, Dallas? Did you already move on to your next one?
No. Gosh.
I gotta be honest, I'm a little disappointed in you then.
That's fair.
If you don't finish her and start your third character before I'm done here, we're gonna be tied.
What am I even doing with myself then?
I don't know. You're definitely not flexing your paint skills here. Man Spider? What about Man of Spiders? if we're gonna get into like Spider-Man mythos, Man of Spiders was clearly the best of the man-spider variety. It was a sentient colony of spiders that would eat you for sustenance.
It's true.
But could still talk, you know, because he needed that. It needed to be able to communicate. Yeah, the Spider-Man that was made up of millions of spiders that thought they were Peter Parker. Exactly. Man of Spiders. Who I believe was just Spider-Man without the hyphen. Because it was not a two-part thing. It was just Spider-Man, no hyphen. That's how you could tell. I very much enjoyed his role in Spider-Geddon.
I'm pretty close to done on her.
I said Captain Marvel's looking pretty sharp. I feel like somebody's getting inspired and breaking their rule about these being fast, though.
I'm to the point where I need to flip her upside down, and that's always terrible on
I do often tell people, because I don't paint on the mic stand like you do, so I can move my miniature anywhere I want. I apologize half the time that most of the show is them staring at my ugly knuckles.
I mean, look at that.
I see a black screen. That's what I see.
Boom. Ultron it is.
Oh, we're calling her done, huh?
Calling her time to flip over. For sure.
Is that how it works? See, already we can see how
devious? I'm the bad guy.
Devious you are. It's true, he's not even finishing, he's just claiming he's done. But then, like all good bad guys, you gave away your secret through this semi-monologue that you just gave.
I need Ultron to give a semi-monologue. We're just basically talking about semi-trucks.
Oh?
Or semi-sweet chocolate.
Semi-sweet chocolate? Semi-sweets for cowards. Go all the way. It's either milk or dark. There's no in between. And don't tell me it's for baking.
Dark chocolate's where it's at.
It's true. Like 85% cacao.
Or higher.
You go higher.
I was gonna sketch Sulfur in.
You're sketching a sofa in on Ultron? That's weird.
Yeah. Put the couch over there!
I mean, Gooey Chew, you can just end that statement with, I prefer the dark side. And we know. That's the right statement. It's the right call. Dark side of everything. Dark side of characters, dark side of chocolate.
Dark side of the moon.
That's right. It's the best side of the moon. Alright, I think I'm going to do a blue wash, and then it looks like it's 1:55, so we are almost done with day 2 of the May Marvel Crisis Protocol roster challenge. How are you going to close this out, Dallas? How are you taking us home?
Taking it home. I think we just keep painting and slowly fade into black quietly.
Oh yeah, is that the new tactic here? You got to tell me these things beforehand because I don't think I have that set up in the shot list here. So
I don't have like control of the thing, so it's a little awkward for me.
Nobody has control of the thing.
No one's got their hand on the wheel around here.
No, the wheel is just spinning however it wants to go, like in every good pirate movie when a storm happens. It's just madness.
'Tis the sea.
Yeah, I know the chat was all about that yesterday. It still are. Do 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 do.
Yes. The angle I put on this exposure spray is very confounding to the brain.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot. Well, especially with this metal, because like you need that metal in certain spaces, but you don't want it in a lot of spaces. And you need the hard line between the magenta and the black. There's a lot going on here.
I believe in the you that believes in you, Dallas. You got this.
I feel like I can just do like weird little metal highlights in the dark. Oh, cool. Yes.
All right, now you got to put down the brush because now I get a hard stop you, so I can kind of catch up later. Because I'm flipping the camera back to just your face.
You don't have that control.
I don't, but I mean I'm flipping it whether you do it or not. So if you don't want to look a fool.
Oh. Hang on, let me flip it back. There you go. There it goes. All right. So session two. I'm gonna call it session two. Session two of the Marvel Crisis Protocol 10 character roster challenge. Chick is how close are you to done on your second character?
I'm pretty close. I've just got a little bit left. I need to go in and finish the sword and then do some highlighting on the face.
Awesome. Captain Marvel's pretty much done. I just gotta go and do the upside down touch-ups from the way I paint. Started on Ultron. We both have our first two characters picked, voted by you, the community. We'll be putting up votes for the second one, I believe, next week. The next two next week, I believe, is the plan. And then we'll have our secret final reveal, which of course we'll have to come up with some sort of fun story to put those together. And then we'll play a game with them. Remember, this month's hashtag Painting Protocol Challenge is High Flyers. We want to see on Instagram your High Flyer characters painted up so we can take a peek at them and pick our favorite six. And we'll throw them off here on the screen because that's one of our favorite things to do. Be sure to join in tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Mr. John Schaefer. He'll be painting up something super fun. And every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for, I forgot the name of the show, Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. Wow, I'm ready for lunch. So until next time, Mr. Wilshire, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you.
Thank you. Goodbye, y'all.
Bring it out. Bring it out. Bring it out.
All the way out. We did it.